My name is Bob Pierfy from Vimeo, Pennsylvania. I lived a basically normal, nondescript life. I had a good family that attended church regularly and had a feeling that God was around. Went through school, normally played sports and loved sports. Wind up in college, and college was a good time. It was a typical time of independence and moving on and learning about things, and of course, good old college partying. I got involved in things I probably shouldn't have, and some things that weren't so good, but you know, God still evidently was protecting me from certain things along the way. I get married, and I wind up moving to Ocean City, New Jersey, and everything was very, very good. I had a great job as a teacher. My wife was a nurse in Atlantic City. We had a wonderful, wonderful time. But there was something missing in our lives, and as we wanted to have children, we felt that we needed to pull this together, and we decided that we needed to get back in church. Being out of church for 9-10 years at that point in time, we felt we needed to get back in church. So we go back to the church that we were familiar with, and it didn't work out so well. She got uncomfortable, or we would go to another church, I'd be uncomfortable, and basically come to the point that they were all the same. Didn't really matter. So we kind of started to drift away from that thought of going back to church, but yet there was still a little tapping of the Lord that I didn't realize at that point. And then a friend of mine that I played some basketball and baseball with down there said, "Hey, you want to play softball on another team?" And at the summer before that, I played about 144 to 150 softball games a summer on 2 to 3 teams, and at this point I was only playing on one, so yeah, I'll play. What is it? He said, "It's Ocean City Baptist Church." I said, "I don't know if I want to play for a church team. I'm not into that right now." I said, "Well, come on, you'll enjoy it." I said, "Well, okay, what do I have to do? Do I have to join anything?" He said, "All you have to do is come to church once a month." I said, "That's my kind of church. I can handle that." So I started to play softball on this team, and it went very well. It was different. People were nice. They didn't swear. They didn't slide with high spikes like I was prone to do. But after about the 4th game, the coach says we have to go back to church. The pastor wants a meeting with us to make sure we're, playing with good sportsmanship and all this stuff, have the right attitude before the Lord and things like that. So I was a little foreign, but I said, "Okay, I'll go." He said, "The problem is tonight's free taco night over at Gregory's in Summers Point. Therefore, I don't really want to go to a church meeting. I don't want to miss that." He said, "Well, if you want to play, you have to go." So I went to the meeting, and the meeting didn't last long. The pastor preached a little passage, talked about some things. So it was kind of nice and pleasant. And afterwards, everybody left, and I was alone with the pastor. So it seemed like a good time to ask some questions. So I started basically attack him with every question, theological question you can imagine. I would ask a question, he would flip in the Bible and point. I asked another question, he'd flip in the Bible and point. Now, before you know it, all the answers were coming from the Bible, and I said, wow, I didn't realize all that was in there. Well, to make a long story very short, that night I realized that God was a perfect God in perfect and holy heaven, and he couldn't look on sin. And I realized that I had a significant problem really fast. I realized I was a sinner, and that my sin would separate me from God for not just for a little short time, but for eternity. That night I realized that I was a sinner and I deserved a sinner's hell. So I confessed the sins, I turned from my sins, I repented and moved away from that sinful lifestyle. That while on one hand looked good, I knew the goodness was only for a season. It was a waste. It was going to lead to sin and torment for eternity. So I repented and turned away from the sin, and I accepted the free gift that only God can give through his Son, Jesus Christ. I received him that night as my personal Savior and Lord. But it's more than just Lord and Savior, as if that's not enough. It's a personal relationship with the God of the universe, Jesus Christ. And he wants to be my friend. And that night, it changed my entire life. I went home and told my wife that I got saved, and she got really upset. She said, "I thought if we were going to join a church, we were going to join together." I said, I didn't join a church. Matter of fact, I didn't even get religion. I got a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Thank you.